Being recorded.
Great. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is 5:35. We'd like to open the Board of Architecture Review meeting on today, April the 17th. Do I have a second? Let's have the first applicant, the Malloys. Would like to come up?
Okay.
Just quickly tell us then what.
So quickly, we have a question for you.
Okay,
So,
choices. That's.
yeah, Tiffany.
That might be wise.
Tiffany wanted to have a more not permanent, but so by utilizing the wood that we already have, we came up with this idea of sandwiching the wood between a frame
Mhm.
and putting the mesh in between the frame.
That's
That's
just for the
option
entrance or
one.
all
That
around?
would be all around.
Okay.
And then this is option two, just exactly what you guys asked for.
Do you have a preference of?
Option B would be the preference. I mean, A, sorry,
Oh,
the
this
frame.
option-
She
Yeah,
wants to do this.
I would like to at least keep the frame.
Mhm. And that way, if you went with this, all of this exists, except in this, you just take out a couple and then replace
Right.
this. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
she would also have to put this member in on each side.
Right.
To sandwich
Oh, I see.
the-
Just right. Mhm.
To sandwich the,
Well, it's fascinating. It's quite architectural. It's quite dramatic. So the sense of separation between your property and the rest, obviously more demarcated. Clearly, that's what you're wanting. That's what you'd like. Yeah, my personal opinion is that one. I'm not 100. I'm not. What's the word? Adamant about one or the other. I would think I would prefer that one because it's more invisible, because that's where I'm coming from. The other side is to make it as invisible as possible. So that's my thought on that. What are my colleagues' thoughts on that?
just so that you know, it's not even her property border. She still has a lot of property
Right.
beyond.
Right.
Mhm.
And is this black or is it
That'd be-
painted gray with the rest or the wood?
The frame part,
Yeah, it's
it would be painted the gray.
the gray, but in the middle it would be
Mesh in
black.
the
Or right.
So the posts would be gray and the door would be gray and then this would be black.
The gray the gate would be the same color that we had proposed. Yeah, like
Right.
to match
Yeah,
the front
sorry.
door.
And so would these
She
posts,
made a
right?
mistake. She should have made that.
Yeah, the post would be gray.
Just like
Yeah.
that. And then
Yeah.
this
That's
part
blue,
would be
that'd be-
black.
Yeah,
So-
that's
Right.
all
Right,
right. I
because
don't
you're
know why
fencing.
she didn't put that on. It's this color more this color.
There we go. Right. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
And then that's great.
And then, yeah, everything else, all the other wood would be the black. And that's the big question.
What do you?
So, I mean, I'm of so many minds here. I mean, again, just to reiterate, I had no problem with the original fence, especially if that was going to be painted. So I would have been perfectly happy just to see that stay, and if it was softened by some plants and everything, that would be wonderful. So I was down with that. But then I recognized that I was in a distinct minority. And so then this, I thought, was a very thoughtful response to the larger decision. I don't feel strongly between the two. I'm not sure either one is as desirable as simply keeping this again, but that's a minority view. I guess my feeling is, since the applicant has been so incredibly if a little bit late in the game, sort of cooperative about the process, having missed a couple of steps originally. Since the applicant has been that cooperative, I would be inclined to do whatever the applicant wanted between the two of these. So having said all of that, I guess if you really put a gun to my head and said, which do you prefer, I'd probably say the second for the same reasons that I think since we're already departing from something that has an architectural relationship with the house, then I think more invisible rather than less is probably the way to go. And just the gate will look very handsome, which is great. And then you simply just have a ton of plant life and grasses and things with an invisible fence. I mean, that to me would be of the two. So hopefully that's confusing enough.
Could I just ask whether it's, sorry, what you, is this taller than the existing fence? It's as the same height as the one?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're not going to change that height at all.
Which is like, what? Oh, 5 feet 6. Right. Yeah.
That's the tallest. There's areas where it's less than that.
It's difficult to say. I feel this is still going to be very visible because of the uprights. And I kind of almost feel that this could match the half timbered feel of the house somewhat.
It's a good point.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
And-
that's a good
and I
point.
also perhaps feel that it appears more polished perhaps than this solution.
Right.
So
Right, it looks more effort's gone into it as opposed to
yeah,
just whipping up,
great for more
whipping up the.
quality.
But that has the advantage of being the one you like too. So
Well, let's see. Well, this is looking good.
Yeah,
So,
and also, I hate torturing people. Yeah, I feel it's important that there's a process and that you've mentioned what your preference is, and that we like to listen to neighbors, and we also like to listen to applicants. I think.
well, that's a good point. And a general point that I would like to make is that, that when people not knowingly go ahead and do things, whether it's a skylight on a roof or something like that, and they go ahead and do it, and then it has to be undone. Yeah. So with this, so we're very, as Rob said, we're very appreciative that you've
Yeah.
come back, modified it, and done the right thing, undo the thing. But yeah, whether it's a skylight or a fence, we view it quite harshly that it went up without permission. Do we have any other comments from the or on Zoom? Are there any questions or other issues you have about it?
Well, would it be okay to approve either or I mean, both,
Oh.
and let her have the option later, or?
Well, I think it'd probably be best to approve the one you want.
Okay.
That would be great.
Yeah, no, we'll make.
There you go.
Yeah, no, we'll approve it. Yeah, so I think
Okay.
we'll make a motion now, and it looks like it'll go through. So without,
Just one final question.
Certainly.
Have all the plants been cancelled now? Or do you think you're gonna
Not
have some,
Front, but just around the
all of
edges.
the ones around the edge has been cancelled?
Right, that Tiffany wanted to do that.
what do you mean have been canceled?
We didn't no longer, we felt that there was no longer necessary to have the plantings to screen the fence
Oh, I see.
around the edges.
We will do plantings, but I feel like I don't need to guarantee I'm covering
Right.
the entire
No.
fence.
Oh,
Because
sure.
that was the issue.
Sure.
No,
I
you
see what
don't.
you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, no.
But I just wanted to say it'd be just fantastic for all your wildlife that you're gonna enjoy if you can just add a few of those natives in.
It would be really nice.
And were there other things other than the fence that we were talking about? or
It was the
just-
generator, the original plans. I mean, what's up for approval is the location of the,
Nothing else has changed, right? The screening,
Yeah, all the-
the
all
generator.
the generator and the plantings here remain the same. This is the propane tanks. And
Right.
and the garbage closures is here.
Great. Oh, we're just looking at this, you're doing the club, right?
Yes.
It is looking great,
Oh, thank you.
except the guys that are doing it with their heavy equipment, they're parking it right by the trees.
I know,
With
it's
the
killing me.
rollers right on the roots,
I
so.
know. I'm good. I have an idea for that, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
talk to
if
him.
that would be great, because every time I
It
always miss
doesn't-
them.
It's already too late. When I got there, like, as soon as they were there, it was too late, but I just did a continuing ed seminar on how to
Oh, good, yeah.
fix. It never used to be possible to undo construction damage, but now there's
To the root
Possibility.
system, to the drip line, how?
there's these growth regulating sprays you can put on trees that'll keep the tops from growing and allow more roots to grow on the base.
Oh, interesting.
Ah,
And also air spading the roots helps a lot, and mulching.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic. Oh, that's
I'm gonna
great.
Suggest that to Randy, see what he thinks.
Yeah, but also to the Rhino guys, whatever the company
Yeah,
is called, because they're the ones that are, are just like parking right on, like crushing their fingers. Anyway, so I think we're ready to vote. Choose John, but we would like to make a motion to approve the plans L1, L2, for the Malloy residence, 2 Stable Road, submitted on revised on the 6th of, was that right? You revised it on the 6th? Yeah, because we had the meeting on the 6th of April. The planting of the fence and the gate with, does it have the specifically the paint?
I don't think we have a specific gate. We have it for the,
We got this ST125 Stonehenge. That's for the wood stain, and then the Bear Premium N520-3 flannel grey exterior with sealer, as on the plan, and with the exception of the front door and the garden gate, which is of a Tiffany Malloy blue.
yeah, thank you.
Exactly.
As on the plan. And the site and grading zoning compliance plan is from Karen Arendt Landscape Architects. Do I have a second?
I have one question. There's 2 options on that sheet.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. And we're in favor of option 1, where the fence is framed out on all sides. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bingo! Thank you so much for your cooperation. Is Mom happy as well? Thank you.
Can we repeat the colors? I couldn't hear it. There was a lot of muffling with all the papers ruffling.
So the gray color is the gray fence stain is Bear Premium ST-125 Stonehenge. And the house trim paint is Bear Premium N520-3 flannel gray. And the front door and the garden gate are Tiffany Malloy blue.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Enjoy the evening.
And Mr. Ramos is next.
Just walked out.
He just walked out.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good evening.
Maybe briefly can just mention to Mr. Gal, you mentioned to me in the email there was 1 or 2 plants you changed.
Oh,
if I can
there's a
remember.
couple of changes because of the soil being a little drier than expected. So instead of river birch at the very entrance, I put chablas because they tolerate the sandy soil.
At the
better.
club.
Club at the-
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know.
And then
Oh, I'm so happy. I don't really like river birches.
Oh, good.
I didn't remember that there were river birches.
Yeah, there were river birches there
Oh.
and
But you had some
So-
swamp oaks, I remember.
swamp oaks are down the center. They're still,
But
they're
where
there.
are you talking about?
They're right at the very end. You'll see
the
them. when you
end.
drive by.
They're still in
They're
blossom, right?
blooming-
Right.
blooming now.
Oh, okay.
And then there's a couple other changes like hydrangeas because
The shad blower blooming.
yeah, shallow
Lovely.
blooming. And the hydrangeas, there was another area along the parking area that's very dry, drier than expected. So I put this plant called low scape hedger aronia melanocarpa, which is a native plant, but it's a hedging. So it'll look great and tolerate that
Is it the
dry
show
soils a
area?
little. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah, so I made on the spot decisions and then there's minor changes because of difficulty this year. Believe it or not, plants are even harder to get than they have been. Yes.
So funny. It's because of the drought last year, do you
It's
think?
because of it's a variety of factors. One being that during the pandemic, anything of size was wiped out. And then the threat of recession caused growers not to invest heavily in planting
Right,
things.
right.
And also everything native, like I have so I'm waiting on this. This is another thing. I have Lakothe spec, a native Lakothe spec for the front of the club to
Mhm.
give it some evergreen presence. There's nothing else I want to use. And they tried to send me a non-native variety and I sent it back. But he's been looking for like 3 months. And I used to be able to buy.
I mean,
this
natives are
Lakothe.
too much in fashion, so there's
Yeah,
too high
yeah, but he
demand.
said, well, so this is what my nurseryman told me today, that the other Lakothe looks prettier, so everybody wants that
Oh,
one,
I
so they're
see.
not growing the native one, which is really
So it's
beautiful
opposite,
because it
huh?
grows better than this other one.
Mhm.
So ultimately,
So
it's more
funny, I would-
beautiful, but it doesn't have that like immediacy that people see it and they want it.
Right.
So, so that there might be a couple, actually 17 empty spaces until I can find that one, because there's nothing else.
Well, it's
that-
worth
that's gonna
waiting, yeah.
take the shade, because you can't do mountain laurels. They don't grow unless they're
Yeah.
native.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't look
What's
quite
the
right.
common name of Lakothe?
It's
Dog hobble, is it, or something? No.
feather something,
Trying to-
feather. So there is some Lakothe in the circle. And they're the evergreen plants that go around the bend, like where the bird bath is.
Mhm, mhm.
That you fill with flowers. There's some Lakothe there.
Hmm.
But I've used this particular species of
Native.
Lakothe a lot in the park and the one that I want, and it does great,
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Lovely.
but I
loaded
can't
thing.
get it now. I tried 3 different cultivars of the species. And I'll take it. I said, give me anything, Lakothe fontanesiana. So anyway, we might be waiting for that for a little bit, but I don't want to, there's nothing, I don't know what else to put in.
It
So-
tolerates salt, does it?
Pardon?
It tolerates salt.
Well, this is near the building itself.
Okay,
So I
right.
don't have to worry about
Okay.
that. Everything in well, I don't think they'll have, but everything in the bio vegetated soil tolerates salt, but we're hoping that doesn't need to be, the salt is minimal,
Right,
just
right.
because
Yeah, yeah,
we don't want that to leach
Right.
into the grounds.
exactly. Fantastic. No, it
Okay.
sounds good. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thank you.
Floor is yours, Mr. Ramos. Very well yourself.
Very good.
The windows are looking great. I see.
They do, right?
Yeah.
So did,
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
So this is, if you remember the last one I showed you, this is the picture I showed you.
uh-huh,
This is the actual color. That'll be the finished color on the cedar.
So it's lighter than the original picture.
The other one was red. if
Ah,
you
that's right,
remember.
yeah.
It was
yeah.
a red finish.
Yeah.
This is more on the brown tone.
And the other houses on this, there's some other houses on the street that have this tone or not, or are they darker or?
They're across the street from me, they're a little darker. The
Uh-huh.
Matthews family, that's actually a painted color.
Hmm.
And Lawrence,
Fellas is a little like this, maybe a little bit
yes,
darker with
a little darker, yes.
word waters.
Mhm.
And over time, does it go lighter?
I think it'll age a little bit, but it is a color material, so it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna change a whole lot, but it will age because
Right.
it is a natural material.
And John, I'm remiss. Where are we in the approval stages? We've approved.
I believe there were two things.
Oh,
It
is
was
this?
the Updated plans that show the horizontal
Uh-huh.
board and the color of,
And that was it. Everything
I
else
believe
is.
that was all.
Right, okay. So, yeah, no, so, I think this looks, because with the roof, remind me of the roof that we voted on.
So we went with the architectural shingles that you guys actually recommended. So this is our first choice. And we have a second choice here, and this is a second choice.
Can you go back to the first choice? What's the difference? One's a little gray.
One has a little more
Okay.
variation of colors,
Oh, I see, right.
where this is,
I
but
wonder-
a much better shingle.
Which one do you prefer?
Yeah. Either one. It doesn't, the roof lines are very, very, you don't really see them much. You only see them coming from the south side of the building. The other side, they're not that visible.
And my thought is this one maybe trying a little bit too hard.
I
Mm,
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think,
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, so I think
Yeah, that works. No, that's your first choice.
Yeah, that's fine. That was our first
That's
choice, so
overlap.
I just,
So for the record, just what color or what style was that? Just so.
that is
that's
the,
right.
So that's the bark wood.
what's the company called? GAF?
It's a timberline from Gaff.
And it's called asphalt or?
It's asphalt. Architectural, which it's different than what we presented earlier, which is actually a much, much better shingle in many respects.
And what do we think about this stain?
I think it's all right.
Yeah,
I'd say.
sure, yeah.
What,
Yeah, no, I think that would look, it'd look good.
that's got a few of these lighter tones in it. It might
That's
might be not too strong of a
Yeah, no,
contrast.
pick that up, yeah.
It's not, it's not shiny or anything like that. So it's probably quite muted, the whole thing.
And so this stain is, what's the technical?
It's the Olympia. Yeah, I have a picture of the actual number. So it's an actual number. It's a semi-transparent and it's Olympic. And the number of the actual stain. No, it's not on. It's not on. I have the can.
Okay.
So it's the actual. This is the
Okay,
actual-
so semi-try the initial base.
Is there a name? No.
Is it that tentacle
Yeah.
natural base? Is
No,
that the
it's a
name?
natural, but there's a color, obviously, but there's a number to it. It just comes with a number. Let me just find the
Yeah,
number.
let's find that number.
I actually have the chart. Let me get it.
Okay.
We want to specify flashing or anything. You know, flashing, usually we ask for copper and stuff. I don't know how much of the
Oh, that's
flashing will
right,
be
'cause-
visible. And the flashing,
The downspouts, they weren't on the plan, were they?
I don't know if he included gutters on the house at all. I don't know if it had gutters before. Because the gutters.
Yeah, I think it was
Sidewalk is
just
not-
like,
nothing.
yeah.
What about on that other side?
He didn't propose any landscaping changes when I met him there a couple weeks ago. He said he would clean the whole place up when he was done, but nothing to be added. Actually, I think he thought he might add a few things on the Stable Road corner just to give some privacy. But, we discussed landscaping very briefly when I visited you there. We talked about maybe adding just a few things by the Stable Road side.
Yeah, let me just give you this. The number is 79550A. That's the company's name, Olympic. And
Can you
that's
repeat that?
795.
50A is in Apple.
There's 2 5s, 79550A.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So on the stable rides, there are some hedges there that create somewhat of a privacy fence, but there are some gaps. So I would like to fill in those gaps just to fill it. Just if you look at the neighbor across the street, he has a nice privacy fence with just about 6-foot hedges all the way around.
Right, yeah.
So just trying to actually carbon copy that,
Oh, interesting.
just to get that whole corner and bring it all the way around.
I mean, the very low slung gable, the one with the huge privet,
Yeah,
the very tall privet or?
no, no.
Oh, no. Which
No,
one?
so if you write a catty corner from me,
The house that's like
No.
that.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So if you see, he's
Oh,
got
that's-
like,
yeah,
yes,
The low slung
yes,
gable, yeah.
I'm
that's
sorry,
a
yes,
it's a very, like, 6-foot privet or 5-foot privet.
right.
Very thick. So you're doing that.
Something very similar to that, to
Great.
fill in and just create a
Amazing.
privacy fence.
Is there something except privet? Something, is there a native equivalent?
What would be?
That's a hedging.
But the inkberry would get that big.
Could we
Inkberry would be nice.
maybe suggest something when the
Please,
time comes?
Absolutely,
We could do
yes.
some-
Because the
so-
previous owner you saw, they were gardeners, so they had a lot going on in that,
Yeah.
which has actually all come back in the last 2 days with all the rain. So it's really nice, but just that whole corner is kind of, there's some bare spots that it'd be nice to fill them in. But yeah,
Is there a,
suggestions.
like an American version of hornbeam? Like there is an American hornbeam, but except it doesn't really trim nicely like European hornbeam. What about like, is there an American beech?
What is it? Because some people
Like a
use,
fastigious American beech that you could sort of,
I mean, that keeps its leaves. Some of the when it's young, it keeps its leaves, and
yeah.
then it acts as a screen in winter as well.
I think in a hedge situation, it would absolutely keep its leaves until about now.
Mm,
So that, yeah, that would, so
We'll
we're,
yeah.
we'll look into it.
Please,
yeah,
thank you.
as you realize, native species are, if you can, are always the best way to go. I was at your neighbor's house over the summer behind Sydney. Sydney is his name.
Which house?
He's so where behind your house there's the backyard of a house that's on number 4 Stable Road, Sydney
Mhm.
Jenkins. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So and he was saying, oh, you know, the house is being sold, and so he was a little bit concerned that the privacy aspect, because he said the people there before were old and whatever, so it was never a problem. Now, you know, because the window's right there, so if there's something there you could do as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And then so the flashing on the roof. So we always like copper flashing.
That's
And
fine.
And,
Yeah, that's quite a bit actually,
Mhm.
but that's fine.
and then the downspouts and the gutters, what are they?
I was gonna do black to match the windows, if that's okay.
And what material?
I didn't look into that yet. I didn't, I mean,
What's typical, if it's something that will take paint, you're talking about.
I think it comes already.
Is it-
It
oh, I
already
see.
comes from the
It's like
factory.
probably Aluminum or something.
So it's probably an aluminum
Spray.
black
Sprayed,
because it comes already.
like automobile paint or something. like
Yes.
What's the normal procedure with downspouts?
You know, it's up to the bar. Obviously, the bar likes copper where copper is fitting. I don't know if, you know, the colors that are being chosen here really go with copper.
Right.
Some of the older stuff is actually round downspouts instead of the square. If you could look into maybe a round black downspout, that'd be a little more historical.
Right.
and not just-
Actually, those,
Not just a typical.
Right.
rectangular
yeah, I like
downspout.
that
That'd be a
idea. The
nice
ones
way.
that were there were round. The originals were round.
It might have been
great.
copper too.
If you can
The
do that,
originals
you
were
can-
round. But they weren't copper.
No copper.
No, but they were round. They were round. That is
Well,
a
I'd be
different look.
comfortable speaking for myself, if you could follow that sort of advice, find some round ones that are
Yeah. go.
pre-painted.
Okay.
Aluminum black to match the windows.
Yeah.
It's not exactly black, is it? It's sort of like a dark.
I think it's more of but it's a matte finish.
Okay.
So it's not glaring.
Right, okay. Because
Almost
the
like
windows are
the
very
windows
handsome,
are
almost like a
matte.
dark,
They're, yes, and then they're not coming at you.
90% cacao for whatever they're. But no, that would be fine with me.
Yeah, no, that would be, you know, going back to what it was, restoring it, the round downspouts. So that sounds good. Do we have any other
I would
questions?
just say perhaps not going for a really hard black.
Right.
If it was more
Right.
like almost like a brown black, so not as
I agree.
really
Okay.
contrast too much with the roof. I
Sure.
don't know, more kind of.
Well,
Okay.
just like the windows, right? Or the windows are they're not exactly black, or are they?
Yeah,
Would you call
it's a matte finish black.
I see. That is a proper black, right?
Mhm.
Don't go beyond black.
That's fine. I'll yeah, I'm gonna meet with the roofer. I was just waiting for this approval and then we can I can bring in some samples of what they have in the downspouts and the gutters. Something
And
close to that.
What about do we talk about the garage doors and the color of that, or is that already, was that already pre-agreed, or is it there?
There's only two doors, so there's a door on the left side and a door on the right side.
And
And those, I have to, I do have, I'm sorry I didn't bring it with me, but I do have a sample of the door.
And
It's
those are,
basic, it's a wood door with four glass panels.
and they match the trim of the windows?
And they match the trim, yes,
That's just the front door.
yes, that's the front door. So bottom panel, like a two raised panels on the bottom and kind of four glass. Or four paint, just kind of matching
great.
the upper part of the window in a matte finish for the front
So
door.
each garage door has 4 panes, square panes, is that right? Or 8?
No, there's no
just
more
the
garage
doors.
doors. The garage doors are gone.
Oh, okay.
It's just the door on the left and the door
Oh, I
on
see.
the
the
stable
front door.
side.
I see.
Yes,
Each
those
one
two
has
doors
4.
has four, yes.
I can't visualize that right now with the glass panel.
Let me.
So it's
see if I
a
can-
front door, but with some fenestration.
Actually, it's the same door. If you look at, I think it's Lawrence. If you look at Lawrence door down 2 doors,
Glass there.
it's the same door that he has. It's a 2-panel raise. So
These are
the
panels.
panels are vertical. I mean, I'm sorry, horizontal.
Horizontal.
Yeah, the panels are horizontal and then 4 panes.
Well, that looks very handsome. And just matching the window trim.
Yes, and then just the same trim.
Well, I think the
Should we
windows.
normally get a picture of it, or, I mean, it's lovely,
Yeah,
very
Yeah.
lovely. But do we-
beautiful draftsmanship.
do We,
Wasn't
No,
there,
it's not.
I think there were pictures on the plans or no?
What he
Yeah.
described is not what's on here.
Right,
Oh.
let me You prefer if I bring you a picture of
I
it?
think it.
If,
it
yeah,
might be
that's
more
fine.
Sort of
Yeah, no,
professional.
yeah,
to-
yeah, we want
yeah,
to
and
be
the- you know,
consistent.
The process.
Oh, wait, I do have a
um,
picture. Wait, I think I do. Yeah, I do have a picture of it.
Well, I think it's nice if it is black, which it should be given the windows, to have it broken up with the glass. I think that softens it nicely.
There it is. That's the door. So it's
That's
the,
a lot of glass. Wait.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot of glass.
That's different from the.
It's a little different than that, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. So it's a one panel and, oh, there we go. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not so,
The one behind it has a thicker sort of muntin, it's almost a mullion, that thing. Like, and maybe a little bit more frame. They're two different units, I think, right?
you see, it seems, my thought is like, oh, it's a little bit jarring, it's a little bit too modern,
It
you know,
looks
whereas
very modern.
this looks more, you know, the typical thing you would see in the park of,
Yeah, this would be much
So,
more.
yeah, they have that particular one there too. This one, actually, you see, it's a little more elongated. Where there's not, I like that one better anyway, but we can get
yeah, so
something with more of the lower two raised panels on the bottom. And then these obviously would be a lot smaller,
exactly, yeah, and
Just a
that'd
more
be-
customary.
just more,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so like, you know, so the pane sizes are sort of like corresponding to the same size as the windows.
Yes.
Right, as opposed
Right.
to
Yeah, okay,
the size, yeah.
yes, that's fine. So if I'm sure they have it, I think I've seen it. But we'll go with something, it's almost half and half.
Yeah,
So two
exactly.
raised panels and then
Yeah,
the
as
glass
opposed
on
to
the top,
like,
as
that's like
opposed-
three quarters.
This is more 3/4 the reverse,
Mhm.
3/4, it's like, yeah, 75% of glass and 25% on the bottom,
Mhm.
but we'll go 50/50.
So yeah, so I think if you shoot the email to John, then you know then he will be able to.
Okay.
So that's for the door. Are there any other changes that you
No,
for us that you?
that's it.
to the plans?
No, I think that's it.
Right, so do we need to vote on it, or do we just say that we're all happy with it?
Well, you should vote on what you feel
Okay.
comfortable voting on.
Okay, great, so
So we're approving the stain.
so I think the stain and then the roof. So I'd like to make a motion for Mr. Rams's property at 73 Clubhouse Road to using a timberline gaff barkwood asphalt monochromatic architectural roofing, and for the horizontal cladding, wood cladding with the stain Olympia semi-transparent number 79550A, and with the using the original style of downspouts, of round downspouts with a matte dark coloring to be coherent with the the other colors of the house, with copper flashing and a planting scheme to be determined in the future, with some ideally with native species, and for the door designed to be sent to Building Inspector John Ledwith for approval. Do I have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, the last time I was here, I showed you these light fixtures. I don't know if you remember them.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at. There's 3 on the front and there's 1 on the side.
So the bare bulb is sometimes problematic with people. But what is the lumen? How bright are they? And how I mean,
Actually, it's pretty much decorative, so it's not gonna be a bright light. I like to keep it as soft as possible.
yeah, I'm just worried.
Let me send you the dark sky requirements that we have.
Okay.
Because it
On the
does,
bulb itself.
well, it's the bulb and the fixture that they didn't want clear glass all the way around it, maybe something frosted or something a
Okay.
little more antiquish.
Okay, that works too.
But I like the, I like the sort of arts and crafts feel.
Mhm.
Do you or?
Sure,
do you
yeah.
think?
Yeah, no, the style is good. It's just worried it's a rental property. You know, someone's going to ram a very high wattage light there because they're frightened of snakes or something. Who knows? Whatever. What renters do. So it's just we want to. They're not privy to our wonderful conversations about preserving the integrity of the park and everything. So they may. So we'd want it so that it's not so to be violated. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, if you want, I'll send you the requirements and we can discuss it.
Send you some pictures?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. That works.
Great.
Thank
rentals
you.
yet?
Thank you very, no.
I'm sure there's people lining up. There's not many rentals in the park.
What's your ETA on finishing?
So I can, this is available, just coming right from Pennsylvania, so we can probably have this within a week. And
Great.
just try to get the contractor down in place. And then the siding, that's about 6 weeks out as of
Oh.
tomorrow. Because they spray it there, they cure it there, and then they'll ship it.
So
Yeah.
August 1st.
So they're sooner.
Or
And we're going to Italy for 3 weeks, so we're gonna be no one will be here for 3 weeks. So,
maybe it'll be lucky
yeah,
by July.
yeah.
Excellent. Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Your hard work is, you guys are pretty awesome with your diligence and keeping this place.
Diligence is job one.
That's- Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it. All right, have a good night.
See you
Thank
later.
you.
too.
All right.
Good luck.
Thanks.
So I'd like,
Minutes if you have them or no?
yeah, are we happy with the minutes? Yeah.
Sure.
We would like to make a motion to approve Desiree's minutes.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to close the meeting. Seconded.
Second.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is now